Hello scientists, in this video I want to show you how to use 2 points on a linear distance versus time graph to calculate a rate of change. Now we have learned that the rate of change from a linear or proportional distance versus time graph is the speed of the object that produced the distance time data used to make the graph. So by doing this, we're using our graph to find the speed, or for paying attention to direction, the velocity of the object. So there's 3 steps. Step 1, from the line, pick 2 points. Any 2 points on the line will work. Step 2, identify the value of x and y for each point. And step 3, plug the values into the rate of change formula and do the math. So this graph already shows 2 points and gives the values for those points. So we're going to use those 2 points, 10, 120, and 30, 360. Now, when you see a point on a graph written in this form, 2 numbers in parentheses, the first number is the x and the second number is the y. So that tells us that this number 10 is going to be our x1 value. It's the x value because it's the first number, and it's x1 because it's from the first point on the line. That makes this y1. And then that makes 30 x2 and 360 y2. Now we got to keep the x's and y's straight, and whether they're from the first point or the second point, because you need to know that to apply the rate of change formula. The rate of change formula tells us that the rate of change can be calculated by finding the difference or the change in y and dividing it by the change in x. And to find the change in y, you're going to take the y value from the second point and subtract the y value from the first point. To find the change in x, it's the y value from the x value from the second point minus the x value from the first. So here's our formula. And we're going to replace these letters with the numbers shown here in the graph. So our y2 value is 360, and our y1 value is 120. And since these are y values and y is distance, we're going to use the unit for distance in our calculation as well. That's meters. Draw a line to show division. And then our x2 value is going to be 30 minus our x1 value, which is 10. And we're going to continue to use the unit here. Okay? So that's the change in y divided by the change in x. Next step, do some math. 360 minus 120 is 240. I'm going to keep the meters with my number. And 30 minus 10 is 20. Keep the seconds. Okay? So you've got now 240 meters divided by 20 seconds. The next step is to do division. 240 divided by 20 is 12. And then the unit for distance divided by the unit for time gives us our unit for speed or velocity, 12 meters per second. So the object that produced the data that made this graph was traveling at a rate of 12 meters per second. That was its speed. Every second, its position changed by 12 meters. Okay, that's how you use 2 points on a line to calculate the rate of change and find the speed of the object. Hope this helps.